Welcome students. In this video lecture we are going to talk about two things, that is meta-heuristic search and traveling salesman problem. Okay, so first we'll start with meta-heuristic search. Okay, so we'll talk about meta-heuristic searching techniques in this, okay, which are commonly used for numerous purposes, okay, and optimizations. Okay, so what do you understand the term meta-heuristic? Meta-heuristic search. Okay, these are some kind of searching and sorting techniques, right? Not sorting, sorry, searching techniques, which are heuristic in function. Now, why they are meta-heuristic? Because it's very extensive. It is used for larger scale problems, or when there is a lot of data that is involved, right? A lot of steps and iterations are involved, right? That is when we use when we term meta-heuristic. So heuristic in approach, heuristic with some kind of a rule of thumb. Okay, so it's a high-level procedure or which is heuristically designed. So it has a set of rules and rule of thumbs which are used, and we go like top down, top to bottom design, bottom up design level. These are all meta-heuristic kind of meta-heuristic search or meta-heuristic level of operation. Okay, so meta-heuristic would be something of a larger scale or a larger, right? So this will include different searching techniques, okay, like a nearest neighbor approach, simulated annealing search, taboo search, hill climbing, and so on. So what we're going to see out of all these, we're going to see only two of them today. The first one would be key nearest neighbor search, okay, nearest neighbor. That is one kind of search technique. Okay. The second kind is going to be simulated annealing. Okay. Simulated annealing approach. Okay. This is what we have. Okay. These are two things that we are going to see. Now, what happens in the K nearest, there are many other meta-heuristic search methods, okay? So only these two are we are going to see which are there in your syllabus. So let's talk about K nearest neighbor, okay? It's a search algorithm where it starts from one point in the graph, okay? Some point in the graph, it's going to start at one point. Okay, I'm explaining K nearest neighbor. So it will start from one point in the graph and then keep on going from one node to another node to its destination. Okay, there might be many other nodes in between. Okay. Let's say it goes to this destination. Okay, we'll go here. So that is how your this will look like. This is a starting point, and let's say this is your goal or destination. Okay, so it will choose different nodes. It can choose many kinds of nodes which it can traverse from one path to other path. Right? So it can go here. This can go here. There are multiple ways it can take. Okay, so this is how your K-nearest neighbor algorithm will look like. So it will try to reach, but the catch is what it has to take least cost. It has to take less number of time and less number of distance it has to travel, so that it becomes really good. Okay, so it will be something similar to what we have discussed earlier, that is like A-star algorithm. For search algorithm, there is A-star algorithm, right? So at any node n, there are a set of nodes it can traverse. From the current node, there are many different nodes it can traverse. Okay, so we have to select that is called neighbors. So these are the neighbors. These are the neighbors of your source node. Again, for this guy, these two will be neighbors for this particular, right? So how we have to see cost now. What is the cost of traveling? Okay, so traveling from one to the other, there is a cost function that is given to it. So what is the time? Based on some kind of a function, it will determine the cost of traveling, right? These edges will have weights. Basically, these all edges will have some weights. All these. So that tells you the cost of traveling. If the weight is more, that means the cost of traveling that particular node to other node is more. Okay, so that tells you the cost of traveling from current node to the next node. So this is your K nearest node approach, where we select K moves, best K moves, out of which we get the uses and get the most possible final answer. So these K moves are existent. So basically, what you can say, this is the best move. Let's try. So change color. So it will take like this, and then so there are only two nodes that will traverse. The cost function is very less. So others there will be more. It will require more number of nodes to traverse. Right? The cost function will increase. So the one in here center, this one will take less amount of time, right? So that's your for k nearest neighbor. So what happens similarly, another similar approach is simulated annealing. Now simulated annealing, this name comes to picture from metallurgy. Okay, metallurgy, what we do, it derives energy from which metals are cooled, the way metals are cooled, okay, to crystallize, right, get a crystalline structure. The metals are cooled, after heating it very high, you get it directly, you freeze it to get a minimum energy crystalline structure. Okay. So what happens is, this analogy is used to prevent algorithm to get trapped in any kind of local minima. So you want to not get trapped in local minima, that's why you freeze it, and so that it goes slowly towards a global minima. So what we do is, in this algorithm, we make very small changes from current node, arrive to some other node. Okay, there are small changes which keep happening. So if the node is better, so when it checks by some function if the node is better, current node. Okay, small changes happening, we check at the next node whether the node is better, and based on that decision we go to the next move. Okay, if it is not better, okay, then the move is done based on some probability. Over here we have a probability of taking our destination. Okay, we check the probability of going to the next move or next node. Okay, so in this algorithm, each node n has an energy value. Okay, each node will have an energy value, which is basically the energy value is nothing but your fitness function. Okay, the fitness function over here is your energy value because it's a simulated annealing approach, right? So energy value is basically your fitness value of that particular node. So based on that, we decide the probability of the move being executed. The probability of traversing that is given by this formula: P equals 1 plus E delta E by T. Now what is delta E over here? The delta E over here is nothing but difference between current and next node. Difference, okay, current and next. The difference between the current node and next node. This delta is basically the fitness value. Okay, fitness difference. So he's basically getting you the fitness value, and the difference between the two fitness value of current and next tell you the probability of taking that move. So that is what and the T stands for the temperature. There's another parameter that is introduced. T stands for temperature. Okay, temperature value. So T starts very high because obviously simulated annealing, the temperature is very high, then slowly decreases as the algorithm runs. Okay, because you're cooling down the whole metal, right? And the behavior. So this also tells you initially it's very random, right? The behavior of the algorithm is very random at first, and then it will as it can go more and more into search more locations, it slowly gradually turns down, right? So it starts at very high temperature and slowly goes down until it gets the global minimum, right? So that is what your simulated annealing approach does. Okay, it's based on a probability of. So basically what we had over here, we had calculated cost function. Here we're using fitness value to find the probability of move. Here we look at a cost function and find the total distance. Okay, so basically you look at the whole distance, okay, or in the k nearest neighbor, and you see the total cost, and then you decide which is the best k moves. And here what you do, you check at the look at probability based on the fitness difference between current and next mode, and then you find the whole approach of going ahead. So that is your simulated. So these two techniques are which are part of materialistic search, okay, search algorithms which are there in your syllabus. So this was taken under consideration the evolutionary algorithms, because you can look at how it is related to what we are doing in the current scenario. Okay, how the updation of the nodes is happening. Right? So this is all about materialistic search. Now we'll move to another topic called as traveling salesman problem. Now traveling salesman problem is a very general problem, and we're going to look into what we're going to do. It's under evolutionary algorithm. So traveling salesman problem, I'll explain what it is, and we'll try to solve it using genetic algorithm. Okay, so because as it is a part of unit 4 under genetic algorithm, we will try to solve it using genetic algorithm. Okay, so traveling salesman problem is a real life scenario. Okay, a real life scenario which can be solved using different kinds of methods, but evolutionary algorithms can give you the best possible answer. Okay, and how we do that? We look into it using genetic algorithms, right? So we are doing this traveling salesman problem so that we understand the algorithm much better and how it works in real life scenarios. Okay. Okay. So in traveling salesman problem, what do we have? Okay, I'll describe you the whole scenario. Let's give you abbreviation TSP, traveling salesman problem. Okay, a salesman has been given a task of selling products. Right? A salesman will sell products, right? He's given a task of selling products in a set of total n houses. So there are n houses in which he has to sell his products. Okay, and he has to go each and every house. Okay, n houses has to go in each house. He cannot skip any house. He has to go to each and every house. Okay, the starting house is given to you, where the statement will start. So starting house is given. Starting house is given to you, right? Next. So after that, what do we have? Starting house is given to you. Every house is reachable from other house. Okay, this is another important thing. It's not that you go to other house, you have to take some particular route, or you have to take go to that house and then go. So every house is reachable from every other house, right? One, the most important, the catch over here is distances between houses are different. Okay, distances between each houses are different. Is that clear? So salesmen will travel in such a way that total length of path travels is minimum. So what is your objective over here? Objective is total path traversed is minimum. So that's what we want to have in this case. Right? So now this problem is called as non-deterministic polynomial time hard problem. Non-deterministic, okay, non-deterministic polynomial time, non-deterministic polynomial time, right, hard problem. Okay, so this is nothing but we can also write as non-deterministic polynomial time. So NP, hard problem. Okay, which cannot be solved in polynomial time. Okay, so that means solution to this problem exponentially increases. Okay, this means if you number of inputs increase, n increase, the problem will get that much difficult. So okay, so the solution will solution to the problem will exponentially increase based on the increasing input size. That's the problem in this kind of a scenario. Right? So let's suppose, we'll take a small example and we'll take into the picture. Let's suppose we have 7 houses. Okay, we have 7 houses. Okay, we have 7 houses and numerous paths are possible in this between houses. So most optimal path, let's say, I'll just draw those houses and okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, now there will be different paths you can have. The most optimal path I'm going to draw with that, going to each and every house, right? Most optimal path. There can be other paths also, okay, which may be possible between different houses. It can be this, it can be here, here, right? This can be here. There are other paths that you can have. Okay, other ways of traversing the whole scenario, the 7 houses. What happens over here is the dotted paths are different solutions that we can have. Okay, and traditional methods over here do not work for these kind of problems. So we have to use soft computing techniques. Okay, and most of the techniques I'm not saying will give the most optimal output, but the output is at least generated. You know, we have a optimized finite and finite output. and also desirable amount of time. So soft computing techniques can be used over here to get the whole solution. Okay, so we're going to do this using your genetic algorithm, try to solve the whole problem. So let's have a formal description of that. So let's say let there be n houses. Let there be n houses over here that the salesman must visit. Every house must be visited, and each house I has coordinates. Okay, that is your x comma y will be the coordinate of the house. Okay, so let's say xi and yi. So let's say if I is house number 1, it will be x1 comma y1. Okay, so distance between the two houses is geometric distance between them. Distance will be, the distance is geometric distance, so basically a physical distance between them, or you can calculate or anything. Okay, geometric distances between them we can take into consideration. The physical distance can be considered over here. Okay, now we need to find a sequence of houses that a salesman will traverse so that the entire path length is shortest. So we need to find what is the objective over here? Sequence of houses that the salesman must traverse so that what? Entire path length is minimum. So that is what we need to find. Okay, minimum or shortest. So we can say that the starting house be S. Okay, starting house, let's denote it as S. Starting house, let's denote it as S. This is told to all n houses. So in order to travel, let's say it goes from A1, A2, A3, A4, A5 and so on, and look up here. So basically how we denote it? S, A1, A2, so on, Ta minus n minus 1 and An, so not An minus 1 and then will be S, right? Because obviously we have taken one node as S, so this will be A minus n comma S. So this will be how the solution will look like. This is the whole solution path will look like. So S comma A1, A2 and so on, whatever. Right? So we can represent any kind of solution in this particular way. The actual path is okay. So now we're going to use crossover. Okay. We do not use a conventional crossover operation over here because it will lead to infeasible solutions. Now how it should lead to infeasible solutions? Let's give node numbers over here. Let's say it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, right? So let's say the solution is 1, 4, 3, 2, 5. Okay. Another solution is I'm just taking 5 houses. This is for 5 houses, not for 7 houses. So 2, 5, 3, 1, 4. Let's say this is your solution. Okay. Now I'm skipping this part. Okay. I'm skipping this part. I'm not written again 2 or again I'm not written 1 over here. Okay. I'm not interested because only these are the sequence. We know that after 5 1 will come and here after 4 2 will come. This is going to go back. Right. So that is how, that is what we have. Okay. So these are two solution sets. These are two individuals. Okay, in the population set that we have. We're going to have a crossover to this. So suppose we use a single point crossover directly, what will happen? Okay, single point crossover across position 3. If we apply over here crossover, what are the solutions that we get? We will get 1 4 3 1 4. Right? Solution 1 4 3 1 4. And the other part will be what? 2 5 3 2 5, which doesn't make sense. So this will give an infeasible solution, right? So directly a crossover cannot be applied to the system. So what we do, we use a modified crossover operation. So it is a newly formed individual. What happens is we ensure that it does not contain duplicate entries. It has duplicate entries over here and here, right? So we ensure that this will not happen. So when duplicate entry is found, it is replaced by other individual. So we see 1 4 3. The next individual is what is not replaced. Now 2 and 5 are not over here. So this will be replaced by 2 and this will also get 4 will get replaced by 5. The next entry after that. So we'll come over here. Next entry of 2 is what 3 is also there. Then we will go to 4. 5. Next is what here will come 1. So this change to 4 and this will change to 1. Okay, the next entry which comes, which is not there. Okay, we replace. So the duplicate entry is replaced by the next entry which is there in the not there in the phenotype. Right? This is a phenotype, not genotype. Right? So there is a crossover. So similarly for mutation also do the same thing. Mutation also might create an invisible solution. So we model the mutation operation so that we can use it in the same way. So if the house is repeated, we try to change it. Okay. So that is what we will take care in this whole traveling sensor problem using genetic algorithm. Now here we also have to talk about fitness value. Fitness function in this case, what will happen in your traveling? What is the fitness function? The total distance that is traveled will be the fitness function. Okay. So total distance traveled will be the fitness function. Right? It will check how the distances have been traveled. Okay. So the path traced by salesman would be whatever the path is. The fitness function of this problem will be the sum of the geometric distances between the set of points. Okay. So the sum of geometric distances, that will be the fitness function. So you have to take the whole thing because we want to get the least. This will be less, right? This should be less. So the fitness function would be the geometric distance between the sum of geometric distances between the two nodes. Okay. So that the first, so the final value should be less. So fitness function of this problem will be the sum of geometric distances. Sum of geometric distances, okay. Not sorry, no, I have written total distance traveled will be fitness function. Okay, the fitness total distance traveled should be total distance between the two nodes. That is, sum of geometric distance will be the fitness function in this case. So this is how you use the genetic algorithm in the whole traveling sensor problem, and you get the answer. So what we do is we can have a simulation over here. If you look at that, you start a particular house, and then you keep on repeating. You have random points, patterns, random paths that are taken into consideration, and then you keep on repeating. So this will give you the whole answer about how to go about the solution. Okay, so that's it about from the whole unit or unit 4. That these two things were reading as metaheuristic search and traveling sensor problem. So that can be done using genetic. So that's it. Thank you.